So this video is specifically for my divine masculines. Yes, this one is for the men. This one is for my high priests, my wizards, all of the above. And the background, which is a kind of like emerald tablets of light vibe, I always use this background when I'm talking everything Thoth. Thoth is the god, the Egyptian god of wisdom, sacred architecture, symbology, alchemy, scribing, pretty much all of the above, right? And we bring a message to you divine masculines today because I wanted to talk quite in depth about the Heka codes and the tablets of light tour and energies and frequencies like that, which is very specific to you men, because Heka means magic and medicine, Egyptian magic and medicine, and it means alchemy. It's the activating force of bringing thought into matter. And Thoth also delivers the 7 hermetic principles, which are kind of like spiritual laws. It's a toolbox that you can tap into that gives you the map and compass on how to navigate this crazy world and how to bring energy and frequency into alignment so you can indeed bring that thought into matter, as I say. So now, the Heka codes, which I work with, are so powerful and potent because it brings order to the energy. Okay, and half the time that we're procrastinating or we can't get our creations into the highest timeline, or it's just not working, is because we've got the idea, but we just lack the structure, and that is a very much a divine masculine thing. So let's just start from the beginning here. Now, divine masculine and divine feminine. Okay, so the divine feminine role, okay, she is all about creation. She brings the idea, the vision. She's the creative codes, right? But she can't really go anywhere unless she has a powerful structure or template to land into. Now, that is the role of the divine masculine. The divine masculine is the one that kind of brings order and kind of brings structure and has got a plan and can actually anchor this creation codes in to the ground, because if it's not grounded, then it doesn't mean anything. We can't manifest anything. So the divine masculine's role is very, very important in holding that frequency into the earth, if you like. And then when that happens, obviously creation comes into manifested form, and that could come in a business idea, that could come into buying a house, moving country, writing a book, whatever it might be, right? So I just want to give pay homage to my divine masculines because you guys work differently to us priestesses. You do, because I always look at you guys and have a little bit of a like, oh, I wish I could do that, because you guys don't get tangled up in the emotions, as much. I observe you and how you work. And when you want to bring something into manifestation, you just bring that thought in, which is basically the vision. You bring it in and you action it and you bring it through, boom, 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 and away you go. Now, the reason your ability to manifest is so powerful like that and direct is because you don't get caught up in your emotions. You don't get tangled up in all of this. We're a little bit like that. And that is why we kind of don't come into land. Whereas you divine masculines bring that really essential power of grounding in. So without you, we can't do what we need to do. So yes, we can talk about divine masculine union and divine feminine, the two coming together, masculine and feminine, meaning like there's a man and there's a woman and they come together and they're a power couple and it just vibes. Yeah, there's that. But that can only happen as long as the internal union has come into alignment. So the actual union of your divine masculine feminine happens within, for if you're physically a woman or physically a man. So now this is what's happening. So to the men now, you may be feeling kind of like a surge of antsiness, or there may be some stuff going on because you guys are very like analytical, just get the job done, all the rest of it. So when Channel and your divine feminine starts kind of like moving around a little bit, she'll start to make you feel like you got to move. She's going to make you feel like, you need to change your job. You need to change direction. There's a different idea here. And that can rock your world a little bit and make you feel uncomfortable because divine masculines are like, I've done it this way. I've always done it this way. And that's what we're doing. Why should we change? So you know what I mean? So it can actually kind of like ruffle your feathers a little bit. Or if you're in tune with that process, it can actually spur you into like complete creation process, where you're going. And that's awesome for you and you're in flow, right? But now many of you, for example, let's break it down. You could actually be working for somebody, which means you now want to upgrade and become a CEO of that company, or a very high-end manager. Or you could be working for somebody and you want to work for yourself, and you're like, I want to do that idea. I really want to do that. That passion of something you love doing, and you want to turn that into something that will financially support you. Or you already have a business and it's just not there. That means Heka codes, alchemy needs to come into play. So this is where you really start working with Heka, right? So what you do is you start to work with the 3-stage process, which I'm going to break down super short, because you can actually look at it in full detail, because there is a 3-video series just explaining Heka in depth on this channel. So you can find it on here. But I'm going to, for the purpose of the video, just dive in. So you have a 3-stage process. Number 3 is the formula for alchemy. So the 3 creator gods, there are many, but I work with 3, which are called Sia, Hu, and Heka. Sia is the god of perception. So when we work with Sia, he brings everything, brings the vision, the idea into crystal clear vision, right? So that might be a little bit cloudy to you, or you're not thinking big enough, or whatever it might be. So we bring that online. Then we walk into Hu, go into his temple, and Hu now brings you, he's the spoken word. He brings your idea into being. He speaks authority, speaks it into being. So your idea will now start to require certain practical physical things to happen and be put in place so it can start to become a reality. So that's kind of like the 2nd stage. And the 3rd stage is Heka, which is the god of magic and medicine. And that's the activating kaboom factor, where you've actually manifested it now. It's a living, breathing creation. It's doing super well, and it's flying. So that is Heka in a very, very short process, right? Now, you divine masculines, imagine taking that now and bringing it to the temples in Egypt. Now, this is the Tablets of Light tour, okay? Now, this is where we actually activate the Heka from within the temples. Now, Thoth is very much giving you a message here of like, if you want to know how powerful you guys are at creating physical structure, because that's your divine super genius, us divine feminines, our more prominent power is bringing the idea through, okay? But when we work with our divine masculine, we have that as well. But you're a physical man in this life. So your most prominent power is knowing how to build temples, okay, which is sacred architecture. So when you go to Egypt, he's kind of like saying, look at that temple, look at the Great Pyramid, it's still standing, okay? And that is what your creations need to look like. That's why they're there, to remind us that when we create something, we must build a legacy, okay? It must stand for the test of time after we've gone, and it must be very high vibrational. Do you know what I mean? So going to Egypt, it's not all just about the stars and the meditations and all the rest of it. It's actually going to the temples and working with the Heka, which is still very present there and within you, activating from the medicine from each temple, because they all have different medicines, and you take from those little seeds and ingredients for your creation. You'll have some of that, have a bit of Great Pyramid, have a little bit of Temple Philae, have a little bit of the Nile, because we need the water, because that's all about heart energy. You start to kind of like work with the frequencies that ignite your blueprint, brings your gifts and abilities online. So then by the time you finish there, you've got something very, very powerful. Now, once you go through this process and you've seen it in action, and you actually have experienced something coming in through the thought, and now you've physically manifested it through Heka in this way, you can't unknow it. You can't go back from that. Once you know, you can't unknow. So when I go to Egypt and when I work with the Heka codes, yeah, I have a couple of you guys coming through. Every tour I've done, there is a presence of the men, but I want more of you now, because you bring something very unique and very specific, and you are very, very important for this process. And, you know, without you, we can't do this. And without us, nor can you. So this is about union now. We're in a very exciting time where we're actually coming together as community. So you're going to build all these powerful structures and everything like that, and have these wonderful ideas. And you're going to co-create with the divine feminines as well, who are going to come with some crazy channeled visions. And we're all just going to vibe, and we're going to create some amazing things. And we're going to live an abundant life. Okay. So it's not just that we're going to, what I want to try and impress is to come away from too much being in the stars. Okay. Yes, we draw from the cosmos, that wisdom, because it's within us. We draw from the earth because it's beneath us. We draw from within because that's our blueprint. But when the Heka and the tours, you know, you've been to Egypt, it's all said and done, whatever. Once you've completed your process, it's very much about the modern day living. And if this transcends into you having a beautiful home, and you've got a wife you love, and you had a couple of children and a beautiful car, and you're just joyous, that's your heka. That's you living your purpose. If it means you leaving wild abandon where you are right now, do you know what, I'm going to go off and travel, then you're living in your heart. You've created that, and you will be tapped into all of these things, which means like you will never ever be in lack or limitation, which means you are putting the joy codes into the world and you're just living your life. So there's many different ways that this can actually look like for a divine masculine. But what I am going to say is that it's essential for you guys to step forward now. I know a lot of you have done already, but I'm just calling for more, because we've got some very exciting times ahead of us. The month of October is bringing us very, very big, powerful energy as the eclipse has come in. And that energy is now coming in and really activating this new timeline, new earth, whatever you want to call it, which is where you planted your creations. So sometimes when this energy comes up, you might need to move. You might need to let go of something. And, you know, like I say, we're all creatures of habit, but with you men, you set the tone. You know what I mean? You hold the space for us gals. And that's a beautiful thing. So I want to acknowledge you for that. And I want to thank you for that. And like I say, when you guys move, you like us, we do this. This is what priestesses do. We evolve, we do that. But men, they sit for ages and then they do a massive frog jump and then we're still catching up with you. Do you know what I mean? So actually, when us women say to you, especially saying to your husband, which is an ongoing conversation here, I'm always saying to my husband, my God, you know, I worry that you're not keeping up, you're not doing the energy work and all that. And he's like, leave me alone. Because trust me, my husband is very much in the business world. And he's kind of the opposite to me, but he moves faster than I do, and he can manifest like a mofo. So that is why I observe him. I watch you guys and I'm like, we need more of that. We need you. We really, really do. And I'm excited for it all to come together. So I'm going to leave you with this to marinate. Thank you to the men. Thank you for watching this. And who knows? Hopefully we'll be heckering together, whether it's online or in Egypt in the temples. Maybe that was our agreement. But either way, all is well. So what now? Peace.